The medical director asked me what I thought about equality, diversity, and inclusivity. And again, another question that I had prepared. And I related it back to plastic surgery, particularly with regards to teaching, using slides with sort of patients from every background, making sure that, our trainees and juniors know that it's not just Caucasian skin that gets skin cancer. I think that answer was quite well received, but also speaking about the fact that I've trained doctors from other countries, try to identify where the gaps in their training programs are. So, for example, we're very paperwork heavy in this country. And actually, although colleagues from other countries have excellent surgical skills, excellent clinical ability, it's also always the paperwork, I think, that they can sort of fall back on. So actually guiding them through that is another way to address that EDI and making sure that everyone feels like they're able to do a good job.
So with EDI, just because it interests me quite a lot as well, what did you just sit down with yourself, brainstorm a little bit, think about these things, or did you go to any particular resources? So for example, when people send emails, they put their pronouns there, and often there's a link there which says why are pronouns important. And I'd always see that link and not think too much about it until one day I was curious and I just clicked on that link, and there's a whole website telling you why pronouns are important and takes you into further into that. So there's a lot of reading resources for other prospective candidates, but just wanting to understand how what your thought process was and how you reached these examples.
So actually, it was brainstorming with a colleague. So actually, the thing that I found extremely useful was sitting with my colleague who just got his substantive consultant post, having sort of, throwing ideas out about where actually in my life do I address equality, diversity, inclusivity, and having examples for each of those. And I think the example of the international doctor is, I think, one that we can all relate to because there's many doctors coming from abroad that are excellent surgeons and excellent clinicians, but actually, I think all of us have probably had to support them in different ways. And then, for example, like the one with regards to teaching. So that's something that was quite personal to me because from an Indian background, it's not often common that people have skin cancer. But my granddad's been diagnosed with skin cancer a couple of times. He's very fair-skinned, but he is Indian of heritage and looks very Indian. And he really struggled to so when he went to his GP didn't believe him. She said it was nothing. And even when I sent him to a colleague, even my colleague